Hi, welcome to All Things Possible TV. We're excited to have you here with us. I'm Kris, and this is...
I'm Bill.
Bill. We are excited to have our episode this week. The title of our episode is 3 Ways to Ignite Intimacy.
As in, set it on fire, ignite.
Woohoo!
With gasoline.
Yes. And we are going to teach you the 3 ways that instantly you can change your relationship. You can deepen your level of intimacy and really create the relationship that you want.
Now, and we're not just talking about the physical intimacy, which, hey, sex, I vote. I'm in. Okay? It goes beyond that. It goes beyond just physical intimacy. It goes into genuine authenticity and having a deep and meaningful relationship. So, very simple. Obviously, there's a lot more than what we're going to cover today, but just 3 things to add in. When that starts working, come back and we'll talk to you about some more.
Yeah, the three biggest areas and the ways that you can immediately change this. And one of the things that we talked about even on the promo for this is that deeper intimacy does not mean more sex. It doesn't guarantee you're going to have more sex. But what I can tell you or guarantee for you is the more intimacy you have in your relationship, the more sex you will have too. So there's a thing that goes hand in hand with this whole situation, with having a very deep, intimate relationship to where you feel safe, you feel heard, you feel validated, and you also have that connection. So we want to jump in and give you those details.
So, Kris, will you share with us the first tip, the first step?
Not until I remind you that if you haven't joined our community, you need to go to allthingspossible.biz and join our community so that you can get firsthand this information, the videos that we put out,
free stuff,
the content. We have tons of stuff out. So yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff that you can access through this community, and we would love to have you be part of our community. So join allthingspossible.biz and be with Kris and Bill Barney as part of our community.
Can you tell me about step number 1 now?
Okay, so step number 1.
Or the
first way. Absolutely, the first way is what I call 10 touches. That's 10 touches. So let me give you a little bit of history here. I've worked with hundreds of clients, but at least 100 of them wanted more intimacy. And I can tell you more than that. Almost every client I've worked with wanted to up the intimacy in their relationship. So the first thing that we talk about is 10 touches. Now there's a whole bunch of research that you can do on the internet, and you can find out all about, they have a research about babies and how many touches for a baby, and how less than 4, they weren't thriving, they were small, they weren't learning their motor skills, they were underdeveloped. If they had 5 to 7 touches, they were about average size, average capability, average cognitively. But if they were held, they were touched, they were coddled that 7 to 10 times, they thrived. Their cognitivity increased, their motor skills increased, their health, their muscle mass was better. So even in babies, but in people, all of us need touch. All of us need that connection. We need that exchange of energy.
And you know, the natural course of a relationship is that when we start, we're all about touching, right? Unless you got off to a bad
like
start.
That. Oh, we got to sit by the movie.
You got to sit on top of each other.
You got to have your legs crossed and your hands together and holding on to each other, and
then
every
as
part
time,
touches.
Yeah, as time goes on, we get into, you know, you get further apart. It's more comfortable to sit on your own chair instead of my lap, and we kind of draw away from that. And obviously, the relationship isn't gonna stay to where you're all over each other all the time, but it tends to go into a point where it's almost like a business partnership, and that's not good for a marriage.
Well, and not necessarily just the business type. When you are consciously trying to get 10 touches in, and I say this is not like I hug him and we both get to say that's 1. No, I'm trying to get 10, he's trying to get 10.
That's that you initiate, yes.
So you initiate the 10 touches. And this is about connection. It can be sitting close. It can be touching legs, touching arms. It can be a foot massage.
If she leans into me and I do this, we each get 1.
Yeah, we both get 1. But it's that hug and a kiss goodbye. It's that hug and a kiss back when you're together again. It's holding hands and walking to the car or walking down the street. It's walking up behind them and rubbing their shoulders, or just rubbing and going, how was your day? And just putting your hand on them, getting that touch in. And I've had some clients that are just like, oh, I'm going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead, cheat the system. You're only cheating yourself.
Yeah. And you know what? This step here, if you have teenagers, my goodness, use this. They tend to withdraw, at least the teenagers that I've been around will tend to withdraw from parents because they think they're dumb. And if you could just, they get in their old world. They don't want to talk to mom and dad. But just, hey, how you doing? Just keep that touches in there. Just kind of lean into them a little bit or whatever.
Every one of my boys, not so much my daughter, but my boys, they will do anything for a back rub, back scratch. They love that I have nails, but that touch. And they will stand there. I could get any conversation going. I could ask them any questions. It's a great time to create some of those things that you're doing consistently. And it's a benefit both ways. It's an exchange of energy. And especially if you've got a teenager that's struggling or down or too quiet, if you have higher energy, it's a good exchange. It's going to raise their energy. And that's really going to be powerful for them. Yeah. So not only in a marriage relationship or a couple is there intimacy, but there's a deeper connection with family, children, and the more that you can do to strengthen those relationships, the better your relationship is. So the first one is 10 touches. It's all about touch.
All right. Can I do the number 2?
You can do number 2.
Okay, the second way is, and this is a real trap we fall into, is always edify your person, your partner, your spouse, whatever that is for you. Edify them. Build them up. So many times we tear down and tear down and tear down, and it gets to be kind of a fun little hobby, out with the friend groups or at work or whatever. It's like, oh, my person did this, my spouse did this, my whatever, and it's kind of fun to see who can top each other with their terrible stories. Don't participate in that. You are really hurting yourself. There is a time when we're going to talk about that in our third way, to bring up things that need to be addressed, but don't criticize them to anybody else, and don't criticize them to the face. You edify and build that person up. Treat them the way you want them to be, and they will become that as you treat them like that. Gratitude. Be thankful to them. Acknowledge it verbally. There's many ways to do that if you go into the love languages, and if you don't know what we're talking about, you should research the love language.
Yeah, just put love language, and you'll find out that there's different love language. We feel love in different ways. Find out what they are. Yeah. What you think they are is probably wrong. If
you like to be told that you're awesome, your spouse probably doesn't. And when you say it to them, they'll go, oh, thank you, but it doesn't mean a lot to them. They may like if you go and spend 5 minutes doing something for them, buy them a gift or whatever. Anyway, this isn't about the love language, but make sure you express gratitude and acknowledgement in their language, not yours, because you're communicating to them.
Well, you need to remember to have fun. Have humor. We have people that follow us on Facebook because we banter back and forth over silly things. We just have fun. We'll be in 2 separate rooms on Facebook, bantering back and forth, teasing each other. So it's good to tease. It's not good for criticism.
Absolutely.
And it's not good to constantly be giving them such a bad time and embarrassing them that they don't want to go anywhere with you. They don't want people to be around when you're belittling them.
Okay, and so if you have been in a relationship for more than a week, that's like 7 days, your other person has probably done something to irritate you. I'm just saying.
Maybe, perhaps. 33 years later, I think it took longer than 7 days.
I have managed to irritate her.
Yes,
it has happened.
I, on the other hand, have also irritated him.
I can't remember.
That's because you're older than me.
And are natural. Hey!
Only a few years, though, so that's not meant mad.
Yeah, it's like less than a decade.
Anyway, back to where you were going.
I was going to talk about the mirror concept. And it's our natural instinct to, hey, somebody's out of line. We need to tell them what they're doing wrong so they can get it together. Well, there's a little philosophy, a little unknown truth, or maybe small, a lot of people don't know it, don't realize it. When someone does something that irritates you, they're holding up a mirror to your face. And that's hard to swallow at times. The person who's always late, the person who talks too much, whatever it is, if it really bugs you and irritates you, I got something in my eye, a little sweat there. Anyway, if it irritates you and bugs you, it's something for you to clean up in yourself. And once I really got onto this process as an energy healer, I do techniques to clear junk in myself. I started doing these techniques, and she caught on really fast. She's like, what did I do to upset you? Or says, what are you doing? I'm processing.
Hi, what do I do now?
What do I do now? And I would tell her, it's none of your business. Yeah, you did something that upset me, but it's my problem, not yours. I'm going to fix it within me first. And when I'm done, if I think I need to talk to you about it, I will. Most of the time I found I didn't need to talk to her about it. And a lot of the time, once it didn't bother me, I didn't notice her doing it.
I stopped doing it.
I think she quit. I think she could read my mind and quit. And there was never an argument about it. And there is a time when you get to address differences. But you don't have to address every single stinking thing that irritates you, okay? It's your problem, not hers. Or
like how you talked about that on our video?
Yeah, I'm passionate about that. It's holding up a mirror. There's something inside of you or it wouldn't irritate you. So do what you can. Use your tools to fix that within yourself. And then, yeah, you don't need to have all that constant bickering and fighting. We're going to talk
about number 3.
About number 3. But number 2, number 1, 10 touches.
10 touches. Touchy, touchy. Okay.
And build them up. Edify your partner. No tear down. And number 3.
Highs, lows,
and tomorrows. Now, what's high, lows, and tomorrows? Why don't you explain that?
So highs, lows, and tomorrows is about ending your day in a positive way, but ending it with connection. So the first thing is go to bed together. Same time, go to bed. And you can call it pillow talk, you can call it this quiet time, whatever you want to call it, but actually have conversation. I love having some music in the background, but during this conversation...
She doesn't like it when I sing. It's different.
And depending on what channel I choose, no, I'm totally kidding. But during this time, you want to talk about the high for the day. What was your big thing? Like, what did you really accomplish that was great? And it can be, I made dinner. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but it does need to be something that, what was your high for the day? What was your low for the day? Meaning, it really hurt me when you said this. That can be said. And this is a safe place. This is not a time where if I'm talking, he gets to comment. He just gets to take it in.
I mean, one thing that I like to bring up is, honey, I did not like it today when I walked by the bathroom 2 different times and you had left both lids up.
Yeah, because I have a habit of that.
Okay, but I can bring that up. So we talked about the things that your partner does that bothers you. This is a time where you can bring up one thing. And the rule is this is a safe place, as Kris was saying. So if I said, honey, I didn't like it when I was sitting there waiting for you and you just talked forever to your mother on the phone or one of the kids. Whatever. If I was busy, I had a lot going on, whatever that was. And then the rule is I just get to say it. And she says, okay, thank you for sharing.
Yep.
And then that makes her, there's no rule to be discussed there. The rule is you can't argue about it.
Back. It's not, they said it and you get to put your 2 pieces in.
Now let me tell you why I did that. So you get to think about it, and then maybe the next day there might be a time to discuss it. But it gives you both time to settle down and think. It is okay, however, to say, oh my gosh, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
He's well practiced.
Yes, I'm trained, okay? It's okay to say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was doing that, or I know that, but I'm going to work to do better. Thank you for sharing that with me. It's okay to say that.
Yeah, but it's not a time for justification. It's a time to acknowledge, accept, and let them have their experience. You are not going to change how they feel. It was their low for the day. Let it be their low.
Yeah.
But it helps you to be aware of what that low was so that maybe that doesn't happen again.
Several benefits here, too, is we just went to one of those wedding breakfast, wedding dinner type things, you know, where they stand up, everybody have advice for the couple. Have you ever been to one of those when somebody didn't stand up and say, never go to bed mad? Okay?
That one.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Actually, yeah, you didn't need to. Anyway. But this gives you a chance. If there's something you're upset about, it gives you a chance to take the pressure off so you can go to bed not mad. It doesn't mean you have to resolve it and have a resolution before you go to bed, but just kind of let that pressure off so you don't go to bed stewing about the one bad thing. You can go to bed thinking about the positive things. So that's your highs and your lows. And then there's the tomorrows.
So the way I like to do this is a lot of times lead with the low so that then you can end with the high. So if that's possible, that's great. But always end with what you're going to create for tomorrow. Are you going to create deeper connection? Are you going to create some big project to be completed? Are you going to create an exercise routine that you're going to start? Are you going to create a new friendship? What are you creating for tomorrow? Because if you start that process of creation, it begins right then in your subconscious, and your subconscious all night long works for you to create that.
Tomorrow I'm going to have an awesome workout. I'm going to push harder than I did yesterday's workout. Don't get into the trap of saying the same thing every day, just being lazy.
I'm going to have an awesome day tomorrow.
But it doesn't have to be a brand new thing every single day. But just what are you going to create? What are you going to do? You get the idea, right?
It can be a deeper connection with a child. It can be a phone call. Tomorrow I'm going to create a phone call to my mother. Whatever you're going to create.
I haven't talked to my mom for a few days, and it's time to check in with her and see how her garden is doing or whatever. She needs help or just something that you set an intention to do.
Right, so what this creates as you're having this discussion is it creates one-on-one time, a safe place. It creates validation for your feelings and how things went. It also creates more time for touch. And what I can tell you is when you're consistently going to bed at the same time, you're consistently having the touch, this will automatically go there. It's automatically because you're drawn to each other. You have your emotions, you have your feelings, you have all of these things for a reason. The chemistry is built there. You were attracted to each other before. That attraction can stay. And when you're starting to have the touch, you're naturally drawn to want more touch. So as you increase your touch, you're drawn to want each other, to desire more touch, more intimacy, and the connection factor.
But the emotional intimacy is the key. That's what makes the happiness. And as you said, as you're more emotionally intimate, guaranteed the physical will follow.
So I hope that you like our 3 ways to ignite intimacy. I can guarantee you, I have done this with hundreds of people and of clients I've worked one-on-one with, and we have seen phenomenal success. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. It's a great way to increase intimacy and to have a deeper connection in your relationship.
So if you're already doing some of these things, step it up a little bit. Just recommit to do more, to care more about the other person than you do yourself. And if you do that, you're going to have a good relationship.
And that's what it's all about. We love having you here with us. Again, if you want...
See, we're intimate.
Yes.
That was a little bit, Fred.
We love having you here. If you haven't joined our community, join us at allthingspossible.biz and join us next time for our next episode.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.